You know, without the planning, sometimes the outcomes can be really detrimental to the family and friends. And, you know, I have seen a lot of families have arguments, big arguments about what ultimately they want to do for this person that they care about. You know, siblings have different opinions about what they think is the best course of action. Siblings have had snippets of conversation over the years, which, you know, may be from many, many years ago, and you just don't know if that's really what this person would still want to have done. I think another thing that can happen is when there isn't a specific document or conversation that's been had and everybody knows what happens, ultimately I see a lot of times that the decision maker feels guilty afterwards because they just don't know if what they did was the actual right thing. And then sometimes then, you know, their family is upset because some of the family doesn't think that was the right decision that they made. And, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why planning for this is really one of the best gifts that you can give your children and your loved ones, your family, because it alleviates so much of that stress and burden and confusion and heartache that you didn't want to have happen to your loved ones. But unfortunately, it happens a lot because people just don't know what is ultimately going to be the best decision for the person. Yeah, I think one other thing would just be that this is a conversation that people sometimes think they just need to have it once, and it's really something that you need to have many times in many situations. And as you grow and change and you have your own life experiences, to revisit it. And I don't know, my hope is when I have to go back and sort of reassess what I've done, maybe I think it will hopefully be a little bit easier because I've already done some of the hard work in the initial stages. But I think sometimes people feel that if once you do it, then that's it, you're done. And I think sometimes you may not need to really revisit this for 20, 30, 40 years later. And I see this a lot in my work. And what people want and what they agreed to then is very different than what they want and what they would agree to at a different stage in their life. So I think people always need to be aware of that.